Hello, my name is Sharad Parmar and my student ID is X18176381. Today I am going to talk about my research project whose title is Detection of Phishing URL using Ensemble learning techniques. Moving further to the introduction part, we all know that world is emerging into a better place day by day in all terms, including the evaluation of Internet of Things and much more processes that makes use of internet. As its advantages and developments increases, it also makes the way for the dangerous outcomes that could follow by misusing it. One of the major attack is phishing now. So now what is phishing? Phishing is a type of social engineering attack often used to steal user data including login credentials and credit card numbers. It occurs when an attacker acts as a trusted entity, dupes a victim into an opening email, instant message or text message. The recipient is then tricked into clicking a malicious link, which can lead to the installation of malware, the freezing of the system as a part of ransomware attack, or the revealing of sensitive information. Now, what is machine learning? Machine learning is the concept that a computer program can learn and adapt to new data without human intervention. Machine learning is a field of artificial intelligence that keeps a computer's built-in algorithms current regardless of changes in the worldwide economy. Now, what is ensemble learning? Ensemble learning is the process by which multiple models such as classifiers or experts are strategically generated and combined to solve a particular computational intelligence problem. Ensemble learning is primarily used to improve the performance of a model, which includes classification, prediction, function approximation, etc. Now, moving towards the further slides, we will see how we can use these techniques to detect phishing attack and prevent individuals and companies from such attack. During the first semester of this course, I had studied and researched about phishing and that developed my interest in this particular area. Also, in the last semester, I had a module named Research Methods, which built my interest towards machine learning. And then I did some exhaustive research to know more about it and got to know about the new technique called ensemble learning techniques. So, this is the reason I decided to develop my project combining both phishing and ensemble learning. Now, moving towards the third slide, that is literature review. Before starting with the project, ample of time was invested in literature review, in which I got to know about the techniques and methods used by researchers previously and then analyzing the techniques and future scope to develop my research project. Now let's talk about some of the methods used by other researchers previously. The author Baikara in his research model keep forth a theory in which he produced a kind of model that doesn't allow any of the phishing mechanism to take place, called as an anti-phishing simulator. This model or the simulator gives detailed information about the presence of all kind of phishing traps and the complete process on how to detect and identify them. Another author, Peng, in his research proposed a developed model called a Sound model. This method searches all the documents line by line to analyze and verify the presence of any phishing technique. If any of the tool found to be present, it returns a notification to alert the user of such engineered attacks. Another author, Radha, proposed an idea of a long list of various kind of anti-phishing techniques that are currently in the use, and these techniques come under mainly two extensive types, that is blacklisting and another is whitelisting. Now, Ahmed in his research project has listed out the new techniques in the classification process of filtering the phishing emails. It can group them to use or to classify them separately. There is also a filter which serves as the main component in this process of detection. Such a filter helps in analyzing the collection that are taken as the sample of phishing data. Now, moving towards the methodology which I have used in this my research project. So, here is the diagram of my whole research process. First, I collected the data, then I pre-processed the data, then we did the feature extractions, then feature selections, Then we applied the ensembles and non-ensembles learning models, and then finally we evaluated the output. So let's talk about the phases in detail. First is data collection. The phishing URL data has been collected from website named Kaggle. The dataset contains more than 11,000 URLs. The information for each URL is described with the help of 32 features. All the 32 features can be categorized into 4 main types, that is address bar based features, abnormal based features, HTML and JavaScript based features, and domain based features. The target feature value are phishing and legitimate. Most of the features in the dataset are either categorical or binary in nature. Now the second step is data pre-processing. In these steps includes various operations such as data cleaning, data generalization, and data sampling. The dataset contains some null values. We are removing such samples from the datasets. Using min-max scaler, we are standardizing the dataset. Some of the data has been transformed into machine readable format for analysis. Now, in the feature extraction and feature selection phase, every feature in the dataset plays an important role of predictive analysis. There are total 32 features which we will use for our analysis, and all the features in this dataset are found to be important. Therefore, no feature selection methods are required for this analysis. The target feature of the dataset contains mainly two values, that is -1 and +1. -1 indicates that the URL is phished URL, and the +1 indicates that it's a legit one. After this, we will fill the data into the machine learning and ensemble learning methods. Now, in the model training part, ensemble and non-ensemble learning methods has been used in order to perform a comparative analysis between these two methods. The algorithms used for ensemble learning methods are Bagging classifier, random forest classifier, AdaBoost classifier, and decision and gradient boosting classifier. Whereas the non-ensemble machine learning methods are decision tree, k-neighbors methods, and logistic regression algorithm. Now coming to the evaluation phase, we have done 3 comparisons major, that is accuracy comparison, training time comparisons, and PRF comparison, that is precision, recall, and F1 score. Let's see about this in detail. So here is the graph for accuracy comparison. As we can see in the graph, the ensemble learning named random forest has the highest accuracy, whereas k nearest neighbor has the lowest accuracy. Now if we see the training and time comparison chart, we can see that traditional machine learning classifiers has taken less time as compared to ensemble learning techniques, but here we are considering the performance rather than time so that we can get good accurate results. Moving further, we go to the PRF comparisons. In this comparison, precision, recall, and F1 score is done, and we can see that ensemble learning methods for all the models has high PRF, that is they are good. Now coming to the conclusion part, in order to reduce the phishing attacks or malware attacks, ensemble learning models that can be used very effective technique, as it can accurately classify the phishing URL with lower false positive and false negative rate. Overall, we can conclude that using ensemble learning, a high performance classification output can be used. This technique improves the classification to a great extent. Random forest classifier is a combination of decision tree and bagging approach. Using this model, we achieve the highest accuracy of almost 96.15%. Although the training time of random forest classifier is little high as compared to other classifier, but it does not matter because here we are considering the performance rather than time. So now in the future scope, we can expect that more combinations of different machine learning models can be explored to achieve much better results. From the previous studies on another application, we have also observed the online learning algorithms outperform than batch process techniques, which can be another area of research in future. Thank you. Here is the demo of my project. Initially, we have used Jupyter as a GUI and Python as a programming language. In the first phase, we Imported the necessary libraries from the Python, which are NumPy, Panda, Skippy, Seaborn, and here is one more, that is Matplotlib. These all libraries are used in this project for their respective purpose. So in data collection, we have used this data set from Kaggle, and we have imported this data set into Python, and here is the sample of my data set, which contains -1 and 1 value. Here we can see a 0 as well, but as we did the frequency count in the later stage, you will see that 0 was not considerable because it has small amount of values, and which cannot be used for prediction. Then we used the Matplotlib library to plot all the graphs. Here is the frequency count for our target variable result. You can see that there the values are from -1 and +1. And moving further, we imported all the classifiers we are going to use in this project from sklearn library. Then we extracted the correlation between each and every variables, and we saw that there are no highly correlable variables in this project. In the pre-processing phase, we have did some pre-processing, and also the data has been splitted into training data and testing data. Here we can see the test size is 0.2, that is 20% of the data is used for testing, and rest of the 80% of the data is used for training purpose. Now we come to our training models, that are Ensemble models. Initially we have used bagging classifier. We have developed the metrics for bagging classifier, and in the same way we have also generated random forest classifier, ADA boost classifier, gradient boosting classifier, and for non-ensemble method, that is traditional machine learning, we have used decision tree classifier, k-neighbors classifications, logistic regression. And then after the visual representation of confusion matrix, we have also the numerical representation of all the classifications. Here you can see that random forest is much more efficient model. And here are the measures for accuracy. We have considered accuracy, precision, recall, F1 score, and time. Later we printed all the values for each and every classifications. You can see that accuracy of random forest is highest here as 96.15%, and the lowest accuracy is of k nearest neighbor, that is 0.554, that is 54%. And finally, for the evaluation and comparison, we have compared each and every measure, that is accuracy measure, for all the respective classifications, whether it be non-ensemble or it be ensemble learning techniques. We have also developed bar chart for precision measure. We have generated bar graph for recall and F1 score and time as well. So here was my short demo of the project. Thank you.